Hello, welcome back to Shoogly Shed Motors, a new episode on the CB250RS. If you watched the last episode, you'll know that we ended on a bit of a sour note. Having stripped the engine down, there was some pretty catastrophic damage and some parts were pretty much scrap. So I did a bit of research. There was a few options available to me. I know that the FT500 engine is a straight swap, and a few other things you can do. However, because they're a straight swap, they're actually very difficult to come by, and parts for these engines also difficult to come by. Basically, the CB250RS, because it's the sort of single cylinder version, it's the same as the XL250 engine. And it's basically, there's not a lot of them about, is the long and short of it. However, I put a call out on my Instagram, basically asking for people to keep an eye out in the circles that they move in for parts for these engines, because like I say, I was having no luck trying to find the correct parts and the replacements. And as luck would have it, one of my followers reached out. He'd spotted on Facebook Marketplace a listing for a job lot of CB250RS engine parts. I mean, quite literally, I couldn't have asked for a better listing. They were down in Leeds. I managed to get my good friend Paul Luty to pick them up for me as he was passing, and he brought them back to Scotland for me, and I have basically hit the mother load on CB250RS parts. So we'll have a wee look at them now. Okay, let's have a little sort of sift through some of this. This is obviously a big box of various parts. We've got clutches galore. That's gearbox components. That is a good rocker head. The bearing journals on that are in really good condition. We also have corresponding cylinder head, which is not cracked, which is good. These are really prone for cracking between the valve and the plug hole, and I actually got 4 of these cylinder heads now which are cracked. The ones from the original engine were also cracked. This is the only one I know of in the UK that's not already on a bike that isn't cracked. So very lucky to have found that. Gold dust, that one. Also have in there somewhere a brand new set of rockers. If you remember correctly, the last time the rockers were completely toasted as well. Big box of random engine bits and pieces in there. Another big bag of more engine bits and pieces. And then over here I have most of a bottom end and some casings for it. And then what I've just put together now is this, and this is 99% of an engine. This was basically in bits, and I've just thrown this together because I've actually been in contact with someone who's looking for parts for this engine as well, and so I'm going to be moving this on to another CB250RS owner, because I have deemed these parts to be excess, and like I say, it's 99% of an engine. So these will be getting shipped off to that dude, and hopefully that will help him out as well, because you know, I know how it feels to have one of these bikes and not be able to get parts. So you know, share the love and all that. I have basically selected the cream of the crop for my engine, and then anything that is still usable is basically gone into this engine. So this one will be getting shipped off, as I say, and I will be retaining all these parts when I build my engine up. And anything left over, again, I'll be listing online for sale to try and recoup some costs, but also, like I say, make sure that people can get the parts that they need, because it's really hard to get parts for these engines, as I've found out. I've got more casings down here. So yeah, I've got more parts than I know what to do with, really. But that is an absolute turnout for the books, because that pretty much spelled the end of the project if I couldn't get these parts. So I am very relieved. So with all that, basically I can begin the laborious task of cleaning all the engine parts and recoating them. These engines were stock a sort of satin black finish, so that's what I'm really going for. I'm not sure if I'm going to bother going down the route of vapor blasting. I might soda blast some stuff in my cabinet carefully, and the rest of it will just be getting soaked in degreasers and scrubbed my kind of old-fashioned way. As you know, I'm trying to keep the costs down on this project, so doing it a bit more shed-built style is basically what I'm going to be going for. The cost of vapor blasting, obviously the results for vapor blasting are really good, but it's not a cheap process to get done. And I did fork out for it for the XJR 1300 engine, but this one I think just merits a good bit of elbow grease basically to make these look a bit prettier and a bit more presentable. Obviously I have the other engine fully stripped, and then I'm going to select the parts that I think I'll need, get them cleaned up and coated as well. Yeah, so without further ado, I'm just going to kind of crack on with that over the next week or so. I'll film bits and pieces, stick it into a montage, and hopefully at the end of this montage we will have all the bits ready to start putting an engine back together. Right, that's all the engine cases painted. Eagle-eyed viewers will notice that there is one missing, and that is the barrel itself, the cylinder. That is a way getting rebored to fit a +1 piston, which is quite cool. A little rebore, bit extra power. But yeah, that'll get the same treatment when I get that back from the machine shop. Yeah, like I kind of said from the start, this was just meant to be a sort of quick overhaul project. The engine rebuild was going to be necessary. Obviously the other damage and stuff that happened to the engine wasn't really expected, but I'm just kind of going back to my roots a little bit here. This reminds me of when I made my Suzuki GS500 Scrambler, the iron girder, because I did a very similar thing, painting the casings like this. So yeah, it feels nice to get back to that. The XJR 1300 obviously was a bit more costly, getting it all ceramic coated, Cerakoted, and that obviously made a big difference to the quality and the finish there. But I think for the end result that I'm looking for with this, painting them like this is more than enough. So when this paint's all dry and cured, we can get the masking tape off and start putting this engine together. I had kind of hoped to get the engine sort of reassembled in this episode, but I haven't had a lot of free time recently, and even just getting the casings all cleaned and sanded and prepped and painted has taken me over a fortnight. And I'm also keen to try and get more content out there and keep you guys interested. YouTube's pretty cruel with the algorithms if you aren't posting regular content, so with a view to trying to build my channel a bit more, I am just trying to get this video out ASAP. So yeah, maybe we'll do a little bit more of an in-depth video of reassembling the engine. Obviously I'm going to be waiting for the barrel to come back from the machine shop for a little bit longer. They've had it for about a week, so hopefully it won't be too much longer. And then, yeah, like I say, we can get the whole engine put back together, and that will hopefully be quite a satisfying sort of hurdle to have achieved, because then the end of the last episode obviously wasn't looking too hopeful. Anyway, I hope that is okay, and I hope you can forgive me, like I say, for the lack of content recently. Just life gets in the way. As usual, please do give me a like, leave me a comment, and make sure you do subscribe to the Shoogly Shed channel. We'll see you next time. Take care. Goodbye.